Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend. I am your host, Prince's Friend. It's been a long time coming, but we finally have this review that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's kind of the last review of the Slave era. It was the last album that Prince released with Warner Brothers so that he can finish off his 1992 contract. There are so many things just kind of wrapped up into this album, and I can't wait to get this review in. So it is the review for Chaos and Disorder. If you want to stay in the loop, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you are notified directly whenever we put out a new video. Now, Chaos and Disorder was released on July 9th, 1996. When it was released, it reached number 26 in the US, number 14 in the UK, very respectable numbers for this album. But what's interesting is that Prince refused to do promotion for this album. He did release one single, but it was only in the UK, and he did a few talk shows here and there, but Prince normally tours to support his albums. And this time he said, hell no, I'm working on Emancipation. I'm working on what's going to catapult me to the next level when I'm done with all this stuff. And of course, the tour for Emancipation was the Jam of the Year tour. That was in 1997. That was when I got to see him. You only saw Prince live once? What a loser. Well, I mean, I didn't get to see him that often because... Hey, wait, hold on. Who are you? I'm rabid 80s Prince fan, and I loved him in the 80s. The only time when he was truly prolific and great. Where the hell were you in the 80s? In elementary school? But there's no age limit to loving Prince's music. I mean, even Prince said... But you actually like this crap? His music in the 90s was terrible. That's when I stopped listening. Why'd you do that? Did you not like his spiritual message? Did you not like his rebel nature coming through in his music? Did you not like the eventual emancipation from Warner Brothers that he got and he fought so hard for? I mean, sure, I guess I like that stuff in theory, but you couldn't dance to it. He stopped wearing purple, he was just wearing all black. I miss the old Prince, it just wasn't like the stuff that I love. Well, that's kind of the beauty here, though. How about this? Let me finish my review, and I think that maybe you'll get it. Sure, but I'll be watching. Cool. Right, so the cover of the album is of a smashed Prince record. It's been smashed and stepped on, there's a footprint, and there's mud and all kinds of stuff. It's been trashed, because the goal of all of this was to trash Prince's name. The name that Warner Brothers claimed that they owned. And Prince was like, no. See what I'm talking about? Yeah, and I get that. But one of the coolest things about this album is that it's got a harder edge. It's got more of a rock streak to it. These tracks aren't dancey like a lot of his previous music, but he's got the reverb turned up to 11. He's really getting his aggression out. And I was in high school at the time, so this album, very angsty, perfect for me at the time. And still really good now. People try to put this album down quite a bit, but let's get into the tracks, and let's see if those gripes are warranted. I bet it is. The titular track is the perfect start to this album. Chaos and Disorder is a song that reminisces about how things used to be and directly contrasts them to what today is. That is, of course, the today of 1996, which is strikingly similar to the today of 2018. The world is going to hell in a handbasket, according to Prince, but it's in less of a, oh, those were the good old days kind of way, and in more of a, oh man, we really need to get our crap together here, guys. The mix of electric guitar, organs, these pounding drums from Michael B. really starts the album off right, and with an energy that you don't get on every Prince album. On your heavenly body, I swear. I like it there. Anyone could see what's come over me. We continue the rock vibe with I Like It There, which on the surface is a song about how much you love somebody. You know, I really care about you, I love you. But if you just take a deeper look at the lyrics, you can figure out what the it is and where the there is. And what I've surmised is that it is Prince's ejaculate, and there is inside a woman. So essentially this is a Let's Have a Baby song before he released Let's Have a Baby. That would actually be a fun comparison video to do. I Like It There or Let's Have a Baby. Which one is more convincing, ladies? I guess it depends on the woman. I'm pretty sure that there's a type for everybody. Great song though. Dinner with Dolores. Must be some kind of sin. So Dinner with Dolores was the one and only single released for this album. It had Right the Wrong and Had You as the B-sides, even though there were some people who suggested that this song was a slight against Madonna because they were having beef around the time. The best theory that I've heard is that it is yet another song against Warner Brothers, which a lot of these songs are. The lyrics are pretty simple. It's about a date with somebody who's obsessed with sex, won't stop talking about sex. Everything is sex. Sex, sex, sex. And this is where Prince was at the time. Warner Brothers kept begging him to repeat his previous success and to go back to his old ways, but he was growing and he was evolving and he was moving on. The metaphor here of an uncomfortable date, I think, is a fitting one. Musically, I never really got that much into Dinner with Dolores. I think it's a good song, but I really love what it represents. It's what Questlove once said was the best ending in fade in postmodern black pop history.
You only know what you know. You only see what your heart will show. You only love when your soul.
Getting back to The Rock, we have The Same December, another one of my all-time favorite Prince tracks. The Same December is a classic Prince song about equality and unity under heaven. December being the end, and we all end up in the same place in the end, that is heaven. The first verse is about the uselessness of race, the second verse is about the worthlessness of awards and money, and he talks about God and charity throughout. I love this song so much, for its themes, for its instrumentality, for its execution, for the fact that it's not a single and yet got a video. So much greatness in this song.
Right the road, be the sun. Before long, you won't hear nothing but the crackle of flame.
I did talk a bit about Right the Wrong in my top 10 political songs list. That'll be linked there. But yeah, another one that I love. This album is full of them. It talks about the injustice of the First Nations people, talks about the unjust incarceration of young black men, and how the man is all kind of behind it all. It's really a strong political statement here. For me, the best line, I think, of the whole song is when he goes, "Said I got 6 feet of it back." For me, it just brings kind of a tear to my eye every time I hear it, because you can feel the hurt and you can feel the emotion in that line.
I've been waiting. You haven't given me one track to dance to. You haven't given me one funky bass line. You haven't given me one ow!
But that's what's great about this album. He's attempting to divorce himself from Prince. On this album, he's an unpronounceable symbol, so who cares what Prince is doing at this stage?
I did. I mean, I do. I love Prince, but this is just so different than what I grew up loving. Why can't his music just stay the same forever? Like Taylor Swift doing country music, Lady Gaga's Broadway career, or No Doubt forever sticking it to the man with their ska punk music.
Look, I love Prince's 80s music too. Hits like DMSR, Bad Dance, Sign of the Times, When Doves Cry. I mean, you just can't deny that these are amazing songs. But music isn't supposed to stay the same, and everyone, including you, should stop trying to put Prince in an 80s music box. He grew and he evolved, and it's okay if you don't like it. But this music on Chaos and Disorder is just as amazing as anything he did before. Look here, like this one. The next one, I think you'll like it. So Xanali as a track has so much in it. It's got the comedy, it's got the rock, it's got the sexy lyrics. It's a song about having a threesome, and the woman's name is Xanali, and of course her sister named Fendi. There's also a little skit with a cop who is responding to most likely a noise complaint, and at the end he ends up just kind of watching and masturbating.
I guess that part was pretty funny. And masturbating, that reminds me of Darling Nikki. Okay, I guess that wasn't too bad.
Right? And this song also shows off Prince's bluesy guitar chops, has Sonny T on that thumping bass line, Michael B pounding that drum. It's just a classic song in my book. One of the things about I Rock Therefore I Am is the bass line that carries the song. Boom, 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 boom. And then Rosie comes in, destroys the track. The track switches from rock to hip-hop breakdowns a couple of times. Truly spectacular. It's a song about self-esteem, about not needing others to dictate who you are, and about what else? Love for one another. Steppa Ranks comes in with a reggae rap, which I never knew what he was saying before doing the research into the lyrics for this review. But essentially it boils down to screw the haters, they'll never understand you, everyone will just keep hating, and it doesn't matter, you don't need their approval. Then another rapper, Scrap D, comes in, and his rap essentially amounts to one of my favorite sayings, which is, some people talk about it, some people be about it. I'm telling you, this song is so good that it could have been the album closer, but Prince had some different plans for the end of this album, and we're not quite there yet.
And as sure as this candle burns, every soul must return into the light. I walk this road, I will. It's gonna be hard, but I know.
Now we do get some Rosie Gaines in these next two tracks, and I am putting them together, Into the Light and I Will, because these two, even though they're pretty distinctly different songs, I can't imagine them by themselves. When they come on in shuffle, I'm always like waiting for the other one, and it just feels off when they're alone. So it's my review, and I'm saying I'm going to put them together. So anyway, Into the Light has a gorgeous piano intro and is a beautiful song about one thing ending so another one can begin anew. It uses metaphors for afterlife, some really great horns and vocals from Rosie, to great effect. Going into I Will, it's a resolute song that I've been listening to a lot lately. It's about knowing that the road ahead is going to be difficult, but realizing that you have to take it anyway. You have to leave all the negativity behind, and all the people who said you couldn't do it, just do it. And Prince says that he will. And I love the message, I love the music, because it's on point, it's subtle, and it's masterfully executed. Both these songs, wonderful.
You better dead, I think you better dead. You better dead, I think you better dead. You better dead.
Now I really like Dig You Better Dead. It's got a good beat, some great accents from Rosie Gaines once again, and a message that has come up more and more recently, that after you die, people will care more about you. And that's definitely something that's happened as of late. There are fans who are dusting off their nostalgia and realizing that as much as they liked Prince's 80s music, they're like, wait a minute, Prince continued making music for years. This rest of this stuff is amazing. Where was I for this?
But none of it was better than his 80s music.
Really? Come on.
Okay, fine. I really liked I Will and Into the Light. And I like it there is about sex, so that's cool, even though I can't figure out how to dance to it. But none of this is funky.
But this wasn't a funk album. It has some funk elements to it because I think everything Prince did have at least a little bit of funk in it. But that's not the totality of what Prince represents. He makes some really amazing music that isn't funk.
Well, if it ain't funky, I ain't listening.
Ooh, then you are really gonna hate the final track.
Missed you, called you, found you, begged you, convinced you.
Had You is a morose-sounding song with simple lyrics. On the surface, it's just a sad song about a relationship gone wrong. But just as a lot of things during the slave era, and this is the perfect song to end-cap this entire experience, it's actually a song about his relationship with Warner Brothers. In this case, he felt as if he had been lured in with the promises of all these great things, and then he was used and abused. It ends the album on a real downer, but also has significance. The very first song Prince released under Warner Brothers was a song called For You. There's no coincidence that Had You also has similar name and is also a very short track, kinda like his very first track. It is a great ending to this album. So when people talk about the decline of Prince's music in the 90s, a lot of people point to Chaos and Disorder. And I gotta call BS on that. This album is rockin', it packs a punch, both in terms of music and lyrics. It had a return of Rosie's vocals to complement Prince's, and I've always loved the combination of their two voices together. And it was the perfect final FU to Warner Brothers. Now, if you watch some of my other videos, you really will start to understand Prince's master plan that he had here. There's a reason why the lack of promotion, why the final album was way less commercial. It's even really easy to understand why a lot of people stopped listening around this time. But it was all part of Prince's grand design. But if you strip away all of that, Chaos and Disorder, definitely high up on my list in terms of quality, execution, the whole thing is great. I give it a solid 4 stars.
Well, you want to know what I think?
Sure.
I think that I get more of what Prince was trying to do in the 90s. And even if it's not necessarily my cup of tea, I shouldn't denigrate those fans that really love this era of his music. I also shouldn't try to compare my fandom to other people's. We're all one purple army, one purple family. And a family should care for each other no matter what.
Wow, that was nice. You got all that for my review?
Hell no, bring back the 80s music. His 90s music sucked. MPG sucks. I want Lisa and Wendy and Dez and Andre, Kat and Sheila. Sheila, call me. Said, oh, dumbass, you have a channel. I should have a channel.
Man, I never thought he'd leave. Well, as always, you know what I thought of Chaos and Disorder, and you know what he thought, but I want to continue the discussion with you. Tell me your favorite track, tell me your favorite memory of the Slave era, whatever you want. Let's just continue the discussion down in the comments. This is going to be the last review I do for 2018, and I've loved doing all of them for you. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Definitely check out the Patreon at patreon.com/princessfriend, where you can directly support the channel, and may you live to see the dawn, and I will see you in the new year with Emancipation. Hey everybody, we're gearing up for the end of the year. I just want to say happy holidays to everybody who is here watching the videos and having a fun time with us here at Princess Friend. We love you, and we can't wait to continue this journey with you.